Hey, welcome back to another Top 10 Tuesday here on BBM Productions. Today we are going to be talking about the top 10 voice acting roles. So we are only considering roles in animated shows and movies and video games. And we are judging this based on the quality of the performance and are factoring in how iconic it is, just in the public sphere in general. So this might be a little bit of a long one, but without any further ado, and go.
Okay, so iconic roles. So the voice actors library does not matter. They could have just one iconic role and that would fit this list.
Right. So we're
Correct.
going more for the individual performance than body of work. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
The first should be how good of a job they did in the role, right?
Okay.
How much they sold it and make us believe the role. Then it should be iconography. So if you have two people that had a similar level of performance on one role, then how iconic was that role? And then if there's anything outside of that, then I don't think that.
I mean, maybe fit for the role. Can you imagine
Okay.
somebody else doing a better job in that particular voice acting role?
That's what
Sure,
I'm trying
like
to nail
As a
down.
tiebreaker type
Criteria.
thing. Yeah.
Basically
like
the criteria we're using.
spoilers. I have James Avery on my list for Shredder.
Okay.
But
Okay.
that's the only voice acting role I'm aware. So I don't want him being hamstrung because he has a limited body of work.
Right. Right.
You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
acting could also factor into this. Voice acting and acting is very well tied into.
Yeah, yeah, it is
I
an
understand
acting
you not
art
wanting
form.
people hamstrung because of that.
So anyway, are we set on the rules? Are we good
Yeah.
on the criteria? I guess is more the word.
Yep. Just wanted to set down the criteria to start with.
Sure.
Throw out something ridiculous to see how it flow. And so someone start.
Well, I already named one, James Avery for Shredder from the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon.
Okay. I think I will counter. I have a whole list. Let's start just with my first. Actually, I'll counter with Keith Davis in the role of Goliath. The whole Gargoyle series, I think, was iconic, but I will go with Keith Dave. Sorry, it's Keith Dave. I keep wanting to put his son in there as Goliath.
I've got two as per my shirt. Batman the animated series. Mark Hamill is the Joker, and Kevin Conroy is Batman.
Yep, both were on my list as well.
Okay, yeah.
The role that kind of prompted me to suggest this list was Steve Bloom, Spike Spiegel, Cowboy Bebop, which I think he did a great job. It's an iconic role. I mean, it kind of transcends people that aren't into anime like Cowboy Bebop once they've seen it, typically.
Yeah.
And I really can't imagine anyone else doing that voice.
I'll go with my. Oh, well, Steve Bloom was also my next pick. Let's go with the one that's probably not going to get anywhere, Vic Mignogna. Uh, because, frankly, even though he has a credit as Captain James T. Kirk, I never saw that, and I'm pretty sure neither one of you. I will nominate him for the role of Full Metal Alchemist Edward Elric.
Who's the actor?
Yeah. Who was the actor?
Vic Mignogna. I'm probably butchering his last name.
Is this
And you
for
said he was in.
Go ahead.
Full Metal Alchemist.
The
But he
English
said.
version or
Yes, the English version. Very successful series, main role. One of
Yeah.
his most one of his most subtle performances. It was very nuanced. It was very good. I mean, he also has the credit of Broly, but I don't.
Ah,
Broly,
wow.
Kakarot!
Sure.
Pretty much all he says in that as that. He's a very famous voice actor, and I think this one role he deserves it for. I was curious. I do find it funny he did do. I could see him do a good Captain James T. Kirk
He did James T. Kirk, though?
in an animated a recent animated series.
Neat.
Star Trek continues. Sure, we have more.
Oh yeah, I have a bunch more, but I think Bill, you're up.
Oh, okay. Optimus, Peter Cullen.
Sure.
Talk
They
about an
brought him.
icon. You know,
Yeah. No, definitely. That one slipped my mind, and he came back for the movies, right?
he did. He did. Yeah.
That was a smart pickup. Oh, right. I guess I'm up. I have quite a few more, but next I will go with kind of an odd choice. I don't really see him making it to the top 10, but it was kind of a big deal for me at the time. Sam Jackson for Officer Tenpenny, San Andreas.
Okay.
Samuel
one really-
Jackson.
Sam Jackson, man. The one, the only. I was very surprised to hear him in the game. I played a lot of San Andreas back in the day, and I thought he really did a lot towards helping build the world. But again, not very iconic. Don't see it making the top 10. Thought it was worth a mention anyway.
Okay, since this, I'm pretty sure this is going to be very female exclusionary. I was trying to find a female. The best I could come up with was Brienne Paulencia. It's Palenncia. You know how I am with pronunciation. And her role that was iconic that we should all be familiar with was Moxie from Borderlands.
Yeah, I didn't play a lot of Borderlands, but okay. I'm with it. I also, looking at my list now, I do not have any females on there, so
I knew it was not gonna pop up because a lot of them. I mean, we don't really watch a lot of the iconic female stuff, so I thought I would think of something that would fit that role, and this was the best I could come up with. I have a few others, but you'll be less familiar with the others I have on the list because anime. I mean, if it was a Japanese voice actress, I could give you Megumi Hashibaru would definitely be up there as a voice actress.
Sure.
Even Bill might know that one.
What was she in?
A lot. She Rama 1/2 was probably one of her the Japanese voice version, which you weren't probably very extensive on.
I
But
watched quite a bit of it, but I did watch the dub later on.
yeah, she was in a lot of Japanese. But this is American list, and you guys aren't familiar with that anyways.
Fair enough.
I looked into Faye Valentine. I don't think it was memorable enough to really put her on there.
Maybe, I mean, since we're still talking about chicks, and Bill, I know you're up next, but I just thought I'd throw out there
No, go ahead.
Kathy Segal,
Okay,
who was
Leela, or
Leela.
I thought about that.
I mean, I don't know. I kind of feel
It was good, but it's worth mentioning at least.
sure. Maybe it's just the sweaty man in me, but I don't know. A lot of chicks, it's hard to find a really standout performance in lady voice acting. I feel the same way about female vocalists have kind of grown on me over time, but anyway.
There's a few, like even I would put I can't think of her name. I can picture her face, but she's the woman who does Louise in Bob's Burgers.
I think that's a guy. Oh, Louise. Yeah.
Louise. Yeah.
Yeah. Kristen Schull? Kristen
I
Schell?
think she was
maybe?
in that. She's been in a couple of like TV shows. I can't picture her name right now, but yeah, I'd have to look it up. But she would. I mean, she does a great job with Louise.
Sure.
Yeah, Bob's Burgers actually is. Even the female characters, most of them are men. Yeah. In fact, that's a
Fun
know,
Bob
I feel like
Burgers
even,
fact.
you could put Bob's Burgers like the entire cast on honorable mentions because I think they do a really good job. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but
See, I don't
Oh,
watch
yeah.
the show that much. I
the
mean,
guy
I
who does
should.
Linda is freaking fantastic. I feel like he
Yeah.
has a lot of fun with it.
Absolutely. That's probably a really fun role to get into.
Yeah.
Now, Mom's not drunk. She's fun.
Yeah, right.
Or whatever. I have H. John
There's
Benjamin
no
on my
money,
list
there's
twice.
No money. I'm a face.
Bill, you want to go? You got.
I mean, we haven't said it yet, but Robin Williams as Genie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we need to say it? We should just put it on at the end.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I don't know who was gonna say it, but I was like, well, I might as well throw that out there now.
And of
Sure.
course, James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones. Yep.
I mean, we can't. We could theoretically do his Vader voiceover, but Mufasa is a better pick for him. For this list. let's say.
For this list, yeah, I think we should exclude. We kind of talked about this a little bit off air. We're somewhat organized, listeners. But I do think we should leave the live action stuff, dubs and narration off, and make that a separate list, either for.
It's just so massive. You know, there's so many people I think would take over the list if you had that.
Yeah, but Mufasa is a fantastic selection.
I mean, you could also put, if you wanted to, Scar on there with Jeremy Irons.
I had no idea who did that, to be honest.
Yeah, when someone said his name, I kept mixing him up with Michael Ironside.
Ironside, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of like some of the stuff he did. That second, was he third Die Hard movie? The third Die Hard movie. He was the villain. He's Hans's brother. That's probably one of his bigger roles, at least to me. Aragon.
Yeah.
He was the kind of Obi-Wan character in Aragon.
I never saw her again.
I didn't actually put this down, but Sir Patrick Stewart, got to put that Sir in there, has got quite a few memorable parts in his
His American
list.
Dad is.
Yes, that's
Yes.
probably what I was
awesome.
thinking about the most. He also, I'm pretty sure I don't know if it's considered live action. Wasn't he no, that was Sean Connery who did the dragon from, I think
Dragonheart.
Dragon before, but
Yeah,
Sean
yeah.
Connery with the dragon
Worship a
also.
dragon.
It wasn't the best, but
See, now I'm for
Get a
putting.
sugar cube.
I mean, we would need all his roles are iconic. I mean, it's more about him. The same
That's
thing
the
with Sean
thing.
Connery.
That's my thing with. First of all, I don't think there's a cooler title than Sir. Like, fuck a doctor. I'm a goddamn knight. I want to be a knight. But it's almost like he's playing more on his gravitas than being put in this like silly, absurd role. I mean, he did a great job, but you're kind of
who we
laughing at. Talk about Sir Patrick Stewart.
Oh, okay.
So you're kind of laughing at him being in this ridiculous role more than you are laughing at him doing the role.
I get where you're coming from, but I think that that's the point of the role.
Yeah.
I think that's why he plays it that way. He knows it's ridiculous, and it's just, you know, this insane character, and everybody knows that it's him voicing it. So I think he just has fun with it, and that's what I
Yeah.
like about it.
I think
Oh,
he
should
was
we
Poop
put it on
in
the
the
list?
Emoji Movie. Yeah, I'm for putting it on the list. I
What
I
was the name?
personally,
From American Dad.
the director Craddock, something. I'm gonna look it up.
Oh man, yeah.
But no Sean Connery for the dragon from Dragonheart.
It's live action.
It's live action. Yeah, I wouldn't count it.
Yeah.
We could. I mean, Benedict Cumberbatch as Schmoog
Yeah.
would be on the list if we were doing.
Andy Serkis is Gollum and a bunch of others.
Yeah. Patrick Stewart was Avery Bullock, director Avery
Okay.
Bullock in American
Yeah.
Dad.
Director Bullock, yeah. Start throwing stuff out there or what?
Yeah, Charles Martinet or Martinet. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Mario.
It's me, Mario.
I mean, very few lines, but I mean, talk about iconography, man. I mean, he's fucking.
And he gets this, yeah, wahoo! Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Here we go.
Here we go! Yeah.
Definitely iconic.
I mean, are we
Yeah.
going to put Vin Diesel in as Groot?
No, that's live
Groot.
action.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank
By our
God.
definitions, that's live action. But Vin Diesel was. I noticed Vin Diesel was in the Iron Giant as the Giant.
Yes, as the
Yeah, he
giant.
was. He was.
Superman.
I don't remember that movie too well, so
That
I
movie
would
makes me fucking cry every time I see it, man. I don't care. I love that
remember.
movie.
Yeah, it is a good movie.
That might be in my top 5 all-time animated movies.
But was his role in it that significant too?
I wouldn't put him on the list, no, honestly. But
No, I was just joking.
Okay,
great flick.
I did find another female that is competent, but it sort of goes in line with Mark
Wow.
Hamill.
There's at least
It's
2 competent females in the world, guys. That's incredible.
I
it's
mean, I have one
the
pretty
current
high on my
voice
list. So.
actress Tara Strong. She does Harley Quinn. The current Harley Quinn. She's
I
the
haven't
current
seen the
voice.
new.
You haven't
seen
seen
the new show.
anything?
I mean, I know the Harley Quinn from the animated series, but I don't know who does the voice. But
Well,
Mr.
her first role was in one of the video games.
Hmm.
She's been the Harley Quinn since, I believe.
Eh.
I don't know the current series. She's also did Batgirl, but don't think we should include her. I mean, this is a far Harley Quinn.
I mean, I feel like most people, if you're like, who's the current Harley Quinn, they'd be like Margaret Robbie. You know,
Yeah.
maybe it's just me.
So no.
Oh, you can put it on the list. It doesn't mean it's going to stay there. It's up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this one's going to get a little extensive, to be honest. I think this might be one of the longer pools that we end up with. I'm going to kick a couple people from my list before I even mention them, to be honest, just because I don't want to.
Yeah,
I mean,
this one's
honestly,
a
I
bit
do
of a
have
stretch.
a female voice actor or role that was pretty high on my list, actually.
Ooh, what is it?
Ellen DeGeneres is Dory.
Oh, that's a good one.
I mean, she
Dory?
was so
Yeah.
good in the
What?
role. She was so good in the role that they decided to base the sequel off of her character.
Yeah, from Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Keep swimming. Just
Yep.
keep swimming.
Who are you?
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite series, so I can't comment on that.
You can't speak whale.
She was really good, though. I was surprised at how good of a job she did.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of it
What
is
about
you
Angela
can tell-
Lansbury as Miss Potts?
Miss Potts?
Yeah, it's a stretch.
Mhm.
That's a hell of a stretch.
Well, thank you, Brian, for derailing us as usual. But back to what I was saying. I think that a lot of this is like you can tell when voice actors have a lot of fun with a role. At least to me, that's what makes them, end up being iconic or memorable. Because you can tell there's like some voice actors that just deliver lines, and then to me, there's some like Ellen DeGeneres. You could tell she had fun playing Dory. At least to me, that's what comes up.
I was like seeing the videos of the voice actors in the booth or whatever, and how they're kind of acting along with what they're saying. You know, I always enjoy that.
Yeah. It's interesting too how there's different a different process, because sometimes there's the animation, and then they're like, here's the script, and we want you to read to that, and then sometimes they're like, well, here's the script, read through, and then we'll do the animation later based on your performance.
Yeah, I wonder. I'm kind of curious now to look into. I mean, obviously, all the anime stuff they're just dubbing over what's already been drawn, but I wonder. It would be interesting to me to look at some of the ones that end up being on the top 10 to see which of those two paths they took. Because you're right, it is usually one or the other, or sometimes some blend, probably.
And I said this before too. I think you what you were saying, you do have to give props to the dub over, because the animation's already there, and they've got to kind of. And I think it's a lot of in that role is like the director, the
Yeah.
voice acting director, where they say, oh, okay, let's add a couple of syllables to this word, or use this word instead of that word that
Yes.
has the same meaning.
To sync it up.
To sync it up to the not only to the mouth movements, but I think to the length of each scene.
Yes.
So, and sometimes I've heard they'll even like add a few frames, so that they can sync it up better. I appreciate that, because sometimes you'll watch an anime and you're like, man, why is the like captions different? If you have them on while you're listening to a dub version, so different. But then it's because they do that to sync up the mouths, and I'm like, man, that's kind of a cool job, kind of a cool thing to do, and it's got to be difficult as a voice actor too to go through and do that. But I think it's cool that they've got somebody that kind of is good at that and watches that and says, all right, change this word in the script to this. I don't know, just thought it was interesting.
Yeah, shout out to Sam Riegel, who I don't know. I know he won an Emmy for voice direction. I honestly don't know for what. I know him mainly from Critical Role, obviously. But yeah, that must be a fascinating thing to try and tackle.
Yeah.
For a long time, that was one of my. I mean, obviously, I used to want to be in broadcasting, but voice acting is like a close second in terms of
Yeah.
dream jobs. I do have one kind of a good segue. I wanted to put at least one Critical Role cast member on my list, and I wound up with Travis Willingham for Colonel Mustang from, speaking of Full Metal Alchemist. It's raining, like when he's at that funeral and he's crying and it's like, oh, it's raining. But everyone on that goddamn show, for those of you listening, look them up because they're all fantastic. I also considered Ashley Johnson for Ellie in Last of Us. I considered Matt Mercer for McCree and
Yeah, I was
Overwatch.
looking into your Critical Role cast also.
My Critical Role, yeah.
Yours.
You're
I'll take ownership.
Uncontrovertibly,
Big fan. I'm a critter, baby.
That is kind of your persona. Yeah, that's kind of your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's Persona and Oatmeal.
Oatmeal. Yeah. Eat your oatmeal.
Yeah.
And I had a backup list that had not the girl. I looked at the one who had Ellie on it.
Oh, yeah, Ashley Johnson. She was also in Avengers.
Yeah, you noticed that also.
She's also fucking hot as shit. Good lord. Shout out.
Who's this? Hey.
Ashley Johnson. I think she's with child now, so congrats to her and Brian Foster. My nerd is showing, I'm sorry.
Here goes Ashley Johnson.
You said you had Persona on the list, though, Brian?
No.
Oh.
Persona?
Well, I mean, that's if Critical Role is my thing, Persona is definitely yours.
Yeah, but
I
so
need to
I-
get a thing.
yes, but
Well,
this is-
your business, your spreadsheets, and fucking
Oh, okay, yeah.
expenditures, and
NA, not applicable.
I feel like I think we're all Fallout fans, but I feel like you're the biggest Fallout fanboy, unless I'm mistaken. I don't know.
Probably true.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. I'm the one playing the current game.
That's true.
Laura Bailey's the one Critical Role, but she doesn't. She played Mary Jane Watson, but not very memorable. She's also going to be in Last of Us Part 2 as Abby.
Yeah, I know they all have a lot of work. I'm not super familiar with all of it. But we can.
Yeah.
I guess
And
since we're
she's
talking
Black
about it,
Widow in the video game.
the only other, and then I'll drop it. The only Critical Role related person that I had on my list, but this was not to shoe in Critical Role, but just because I really like the role, is Will Friedle for Ron Stoppable. You might know him as Eric Matthews from Boy Meets World. He was also Batman Beyond. He was also Terry McGinnis in Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
And did a few guest spots with Critical Role. But I really liked Ron Stoppable. I really liked. He kind of made that show for me.
Did you want that down?
What, Boy Meets
Yeah.
World? Or?
Ron Stoppable.
No.
Will Friedle. But I digress from my Critical Role fandom, and on to the next person.
Whose goes it? Brian?
Yeah, I got nothing else.
You
Really,
guys keep
Brian? I'm
mentioning
surprised.
video games, so I felt obligated to kind of have a video game one. Sorry to cut you off there, Mike. Marcus from Gears.
Who did that?
You never believe this, but I didn't believe it at first. John DiMaggio.
John DiMaggio did that?
Yep. Bender himself.
Wow. Yeah, I have Bender on my list, actually.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Since we're
I
doing it,
was
Brian,
thinking
could you
about-
throw Bender on there? Sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Okay.
What do you say?
I was going to say throw Bender,
Yeah.
John DiMaggio
yeah.
Bender
I
on the
was
list.
going to say, throw him on there, yeah.
Marcus. I thought about that. Also, who played Fry? It's escaping me right now. That was a consideration
Billy
for
West.
me.
Yeah,
Billy West.
Billy West.
Yep.
That was a consideration for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd throw that on there.
Okay. Billy
I would even think
West.
Billy West for Zap Brannigan
Yeah.
because that was supposed to be
Yeah.
Phil Hartman
Yeah.
before he died.
Mm,
So that's him doing his best Phil Hartman impression. I also thought about Phil Hartman for Lionel Hutz,
Yep.
but I
Troy
I didn't
McClure.
pull the trigger on that one. Yeah, Troy McClure.
Hi, I'm Troy McClure. Yeah.
I
You
didn't. Yeah,
may remember me from such films as
I really want to put together a good, like, made up on the spot Troy McClure. You might know me from
yeah.
thing in one of these podcasts, but we'll see.
We should do that. I feel like Simpsons has a ton, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I picked two from The Simpsons. I didn't want to get too overboard.
And
Who-
the woman who does Bart, Lisa.
Yeah.
So
I looked at her, but
I picked
pretty iconic. Yeah.
Dan Castellaneta for Homer
Okay. Yeah.
because I feel like that's iconic.
Yeah. I mean, on that note, I feel like you kind of have to throw out Seth MacFarlane. I think specifically for either Stewie or Roger, if I had to pick.
I would
He was
go
Roger?
Stewie.
Yeah, he was
The
Roger.
Alien?
I'm pretty sure.
Wow. I'd probably go with Stewie though.
Billy Crystal for Mike Wazowski.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
But I think back where it came from, or so help me.
Since we brought it up last podcast, I thought about Nathan Lane for Pumbaa.
Timon.
Was it Timon?
Yeah, I think Nathan Lane was Timon. Right?
No clue.
One was Billy Crystal, right? Is Billy Crystal and Nathan Lane? Is that right?
What? And Billy Crystal, I think, was only in Monsters Inc.
Really? I thought he was
I
in.
think so.
Well, anyway, I didn't put him on the list. Who else do I have? I'm going to drop Robin Williams from Fern Gully before I even name him because the list is getting long. I'm going to drop Billy Farmer for a Goofy movie, even though I feel like that is pretty iconic. I would like to include, for personal reasons, Will Forte as Abe Lincoln from Clone High.
Okay.
For Abe Lincoln and Clone High. Remember, we used to watch Clone High all the time, Brian, back in the day. I used to own it on DVD, but I think I lent it to someone and never got it back, which is a bummer.
I mean, are we gonna put Mel Blanc on there?
Oh my God, yes. I didn't include him.
Have to kind of just pick one. I don't know.
Bugs Bunny, man.
Bugs Bunny, yeah.
It can't possibly get more iconic than Bugs fucking Bunny. I had Will Arnett for Lego Batman. I only wanted to put H. John Benjamin on here once. And I have Bob, Coach McGurk, and Archer, but I think I might go with Archer. Because I feel like that's his most iconic role. That might also be me just wanting, like, one of those cool initial names, you know, like MC Limerez or... That'd be cool.
I feel like I also want Jim Cummings on there too.
I don't know who that is.
Tons and tons of work. Like, he's up in the hundreds of roles, but probably most like iconic or well known is Winnie the Pooh. Played like a bunch of the Winnie the Pooh characters.
What was the first name?
Jim.
Jim Cummings?
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
Okay. Sounds
A
like
lot of Disney work. Like,
Winnie.
let me see. I know him from Winnie the Pooh, but did a ton of stuff.
I think that pretty much wraps up my list. Hank Azaria as Apu I had on there, but I don't want it to get too Simpsons heavy.
Yeah, I had Woody, Tom Hanks.
Yeah?
I went back and forth on whether or not to include SpongeBob.
Who did that?
SpongeBob. I think it was the creator of the show, if I remember right. I don't remember.
Oh, R.I.P.
No Tim Allen?
I mean, he did all right. I just think Tom Hanks did a better job as Woody.
Yeah, Woody was the better role.
I liked Newman as that toy collector guy. Jerry Seinfeld for B movie? I'm kidding. Don't put him on there.
Yeah, I mean,
He's a meme. It's a meme now. But
yeah, sounds about right.
so are we on to the ranking? I'm out of.
Yeah, I think we should be on to the ranking unless you got more, Bill.
No, I think we mentioned the crew from Bob's Burgers. I don't know if you want to put. What do you think, Mike? Do you think any of them make the list?
I think as a show it might make the list, but individually, does any one of them stand out?
The guy who does Linda is pretty funny, but
I
But
would.
is the character iconic of Linda? That's we're going with the roles that are iconic.
I mean, what's the name of the guy who does Bob again? I don't know. His name's slipping my mind.
Yeah, same guy. H. John Benjamin, same guy that
Yeah.
does Archer.
Yeah, Archer. Yeah, but not. Is he
Okay.
on the list?
Yeah.
for Archer.
For Archer. Yeah.
Okay.
He was also Coach McGurk from Home Movies. I thought about including that, but
Yeah.
I didn't want to list him.
Archer is a bigger role than Bob's Burgers.
I do, honestly. I feel like I feel like I mean I love Bob's Burgers. Don't get me wrong. It's not a slight against it, but in
No, I'm
terms
just
of mass
thinking, like,
appeal,
Yeah, but that's what I was saying. I think a network television, show in prime time on Sunday is going to have more exposure than a cable television show that's got like a smaller following.
yeah, it has a lot of exposure, but I feel like it gets overshadowed a lot. Sandwiched between Family Guy and The Simpsons.
Oh, we actually
I
have
think
two
that's-
Bugs Bunnies on this list. I just found out Billy West did a Bugs Bunny.
Ah,
I think for Space Jam he did the Bugs Bunny voice.
really?
Okay.
Believe so. Could be wrong.
That's kind of cool.
Doug Funny.
But yeah, if you want to throw him on there, Christine Schell is Louise. I'd be fine with that as well.
Christine?
Kristen,
Kristen, is that a girl or guy?
girl.
Okay, you were talking about Bob's Burger.
Yeah, she plays Louise Belcher. John Roberts is Linda Belcher. Of all of them, I feel like John Roberts would probably get for Linda Belcher. Would probably get my vote. As much as I mean, like you said, they're all fucking fantastic.
Yeah, and as a cast, they work great together.
Yeah, yeah. Eugene Merman, I know him from an Archer episode actually, and his stand up. Oh, and even like fucking, what's his name? Mr. Fishman. Kevin Kline, right? Isn't that Kevin Kline?
Oh,
That
Mr.
plays
Fishoder, yes. it is.
Fishoder, yeah.
Yep.
He did great as well.
Yeah, he does.
Anyway, on to the ranking. Any early number ones? I kind of feel like Mel Blanc for Bugs Bunny is an early number one.
No, I don't.
No?
Nope. Sorry. I mean, I think we should just knock out some of them and just get 10, then start the ranking for this massive list.
Could you read off the list just so we're on the same page?
Why don't I just read off the ones I think will definitely make the list? Mark Hamill as the Joker. I think both me and Mike agree on the Steve Bloom as Spike.
Yeah, I'd agree with that too. I don't know if it'll make the
I
top
didn't
10,
think
though.
about
That's
this,
rough.
but Peter Cullen as Optimus Prime. I think
Optimus
that's
Crime. Yeah, no, I think that definitely deserves to be in the list. Real quick though, Brian, do you know who did the original voice for Spike Spiegel? For
No,
bonus
I
points?
don't.
No, I'm shocked, honestly.
Of course, Robin Williams is the genie.
Yep.
James
Yeah.
Earl Jones as Mufasa. You guys seem to agree about Ellen DeGeneres and Dory. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking Dora the Explorer. Brain
Yes,
cross.
ominous. Let's go.
Okay, definitely Joe DiMaggio as either Bender or Marcus. Billy West, since he both could do Bugs and Fry, should be there.
If anything, I'd give it to him for Fry. I don't think
Yeah.
the fact that we
Yeah.
didn't know him for Bugs.
Yes.
And that's the other thing. It kind of waters it down when you're just trying to do an impression. Because he was doing an impression of Mel Blanc doing Bugs, right?
Yeah, pretty much. But he's just extremely talented. Of course, Mel Blanca. or however you say that name.
Electrifying performance.
H. John
You beat me
Benjamin.
to it. Yeah.
H. John Benjamin as Archer. You like him in several roles, but Archer takes the.
Okay.
I'd like Tom Hanks as Woody
Okay.
out of the list. So that's 1, 2.
Yeah, he did I gotta give it to Tom Hanks on that one. He did a
Four,
really good
five,
job. A
six,
surprisingly good job, considering how big of a name he is and even
17,
was then.
11.
Didn't phone it in at all.
Okay, with just those, we have 11. Any others you think we have a strong contender for?
You did say Mark Hamill and
Yes.
Kevin Conroy, right?
No, I did not put Kevin Conroy. If you want to make sure he's on there, I'll put
What do
him
you
down.
think, Mike? You had him on your
I-
list too.
I think Kevin Conroy is at least in contention for a top 10 spot. Maybe we can whittle it down to like 15 and,
Have some honorable mentions and
yeah, get the 10 off of that.
Okay, yeah, get 15. Um,
Charles Martinet for Mario? No?
I'm against it.
yeah, I get where you're coming from, but it's pretty limited.
Okay, that's fair. You can drop him.
It's kind of like the I Am Groot thing, you know?
Yeah, but it's so iconic. I mean, who doesn't know? Who in the world doesn't know that? Here we go! Or,
Yeah, that's true.
It's just
But-
limited. I mean,
I understand.
I would rather have Will Arnett as Lego Batman than that, or Harley Quinn, the new Harley Quinn. Just
The
when
fact that we didn't-
compared-
I mean, she's only been in that one show on that DC exclusive streaming service, right?
No,
Harley Quinn,
she's
the new
been
Harley
in a
Quinn?
lot of movies. The video
Really?
games, iconic character that she's
sure.
been keeping up. She's been Harley Quinn.
She was the
since-
Injustice.
I believe so. Since
Okay.
the Batman Origins, I believe she's played the role the most.
I'd rather
wrong.
have the other one that you mentioned before, Harley Quinn. What was it?
Brienne, the Moxie.
No, not that one. Like the one you said right before. You would rather have someone or Harley Quinn on the list. Will Arnett for Lego Batman. I wouldn't mind
Yeah.
Will Arnett as Lego Batman on the list.
Okay, well,
So what does that put us at? Like 13?
okay. And I want to make a case for Keith David as Goliath. Bill, how do you feel about James Avery as Shredder?
Both of them are good.
Yeah, I want to put both of them on. I'm going to drop Vic Mignogna.
You're gonna drop what?
Vic Mignogna
Good.
as Edric Eric.
I'm gonna drop some Dick Manana. What?
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Well,
Drop it,
that's a
Brian,
strange
drop it tonight.
story. Half the reason I brought him up is because he's a contentious figure in the voice acting community now.
Why?
Because he got accused of sexual assault, which there's really no evidence for, and got fired for it.
By who? By whom?
One of his coworkers.
Damn, another voice actor?
Yeah.
Damn.
And there's a lot
Like-
of contentious in the anime community, in it to community around that.
About boycotting Full Metal Alchemist, even though the show's been over for like a decade.
No, about him getting fired and not getting any more work, or him being excluded from some of these cons.
It's so funny, man. Like a lot of how hardly someone is prosecuted in the court of public opinion is based on how good their work is. Like if the better the artist you are, the more society's willing to give you a pass. It seems is all I'm saying.
I don't know the
point.
truth. I don't
think
pretend to
now
know
they're
the
kinda-
truth of the situation. I'm just saying he's boiled up in this, and I don't hear any solid evidence against him. Okay, we can drop Sir Patrick Stewart, unfortunately.
Yeah, again, I feel like that's more of a novelty role. You know?
Yeah, what about the Homer? Daniel or Dan, however you say that last name.
Castellaneta. I
Yes.
could go either way. I'll leave it to you, Bill.
It's pretty
That's Homer Simpson.
iconic.
It's pretty iconic. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't.
What about the Billy Crystal role? I'm not even sure if I have the name right. Mike?
Mike Wazowski.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about from Monsters, Inc.
Yeah.
Remember it, but I wouldn't say it's iconic. He's a good character, a good role. not quite iconic.
Yeah, I'm torn, honestly, on that one. I wasn't a big Monsters Inc. fan, but I understand the following.
We got to drop some, like Nathan Lane as Timon or Pumbaa. We can't remember which one, so
Yeah, no,
I
drop
think he
him.
should be off.
I
Same thing
agree.
with Mario, Harley Quinn.
I think Dan Castellaneta should make the list. I think that
Yeah, he's already
the other one that we
checkmarked
were just talking
approved.
about
So
should make an honorable mention. I think Billy Crystal should make honorable mention, given the other people we have on the list, honestly.
there's a few unclear ones in my horrible, quick handwriting.
I would take Tom Hanks
Travis,
over.
well,
Travis
Tom
Willingham,
Hanks
you
is
can
already
drop.
there. Travis Will something.
Willingham, yeah,
Well,
you can drop him. You can drop him. It's kind of a. I really just wanted to shout out my show.
Drop him like it's hot.
Will Frieden. What was
I
that?
could Ron Stoppable. You can drop him too. Again, I really enjoyed that performance even as a kid. I was like, man, that guy really made the character for me. But
What
given
about
the
Jim
competition,
Cummins, Winnie the Pooh? I think we should drop it.
All right.
not a lot of Winnie the Pooh love. I think we dropped Winnie the Pooh during
I think we
the.
have before, yeah.
No Moxie. What about final
Brian
one?
doesn't want to further anger China. You know, they got
Yeah.
issues with Winnie the Pooh.
I've already assaulted China enough. Let me not try to put Winnie the Pooh in this list. But last one I think is Katie Seagal as Leela.
I just
much-
kind of. I threw her on there for.
You're like, I'm not sexist, I swear.
Yeah, for equal affirmative action purposes.
Very nice,
Excuse
Mike.
me.
Good one.
Thank you, thank you.
Sounded like Bender when he became a real person.
Did he ever become really a real person or
Yeah.
just a facsimile
I
of
heard
a
him
jerk?
moo just a minute ago. No, that's just Eric escaping from the
Oh,
sparrows.
okay. That one episode. Got it.
Woo!
Honestly, Bender was probably the most accurately displayed human being on the show.
Yeah.
I
rude
think out
and
of
drunk
Futurama,
and-
Bender is going to come through. Unless Marcus Phoenix takes the spot.
Both are
I mean,
pretty
you could
iconic.
combine them since it's the same voice actor. you know?
Yeah, I agree. He should be on the list as both Bender. So we'll see. Anyone else to kick off? No, I think we're solid. Winnie the Pooh got kicked off.
So can you just sum up our short list?
Okay,
Our
James
short
Avery as Shredder, Keith David as Goliath, Mark Hamill as Joker, Kevin Conroy as Batman, Steve Bloom as Spike, Peter Cullen as Optimus Prime, I kicked off Katie Seagal, Robin Williams as the Genie, James Earl Jones as Mufasa, Ellen DeGeneres as Dora, or Dory, Joe DiMaggio as Combo Pick, Bill West as Fry, Dan as Homer, Seth MacFarlane as Stewie, Mel Blanc as Bugs Bunny, Will Arnett as Lego Batman.
I feel like we dropped Will Arnett. List is pretty long.
Yeah.
Given the competition, I'd agree.
Yeah. H. John Benjamin Archer and Tom
Second
Hanks as
space.
Woody.
Since we have John DiMaggio with a combo pick, I think we should include Bob Belcher and Coach McGurk for H. John Benjamin.
Yeah, there you go.
And honestly, he might be my personal favorite voice actor of all time.
Okay. Coach McGurk from Home Movies. What was the other one?
Bob Belcher from Bob's Burgers.
Bob Belcher.
I mean, the Coach McGurk stuff, I remember just laughing my fucking ass off. That's another series that I lent out and never got back, that I had on DVD. God damn it. I'm going to have to go rebuy those. I might do that after this, actually.
This is why I was asking about the sort of combo thing. Since we have combos, do you think that should factor in when we have multiple characters? They get higher in the list. 'Cause
Nah.
Okay. Just the combined versus the one iconic roles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and when we talked offline, I wasn't for that, but now that we're like knee deep in the list, I
Yeah, we
kind of
never know
understand the
until we
merit
get
now.
into these things how it's going to play out. So questions are always good and enlightening.
I'm gonna throw out Robin Williams as the genie as number one.
This one's tough. This one's honestly tough.
It
There's
is
usually a
very
clear
tough.
front runner, but
I want to
I
argue against it just out of my stubborn streak.
I mean, as a single role, you know.
yeah.
And
Who
I
would you
think the
pick?
Joker should come in behind him.
Yeah.
Who would you pick though, Brian? If you were going to argue against Robin Williams as the genie for number
It's
one, who
just
would you?
so obvious, okay?
It is.
It's just too obvious. That's why I want to argue against it. Only reason. He's bigger than life. It's hard
It's
to
like I have to be contrarian. Damn it!
exactly, but I can't in this case. It's just too in my face.
He's like, oh, my hipster nerd is dying.
Yes, exactly.
We're getting old.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
my
need
hipster
oatmeal,
spirit
quick.
has died. Yes.
Quick,
Okay.
bring me artisan oatmeal.
So do you argue against this, Mike? We both are just sort of forced into this. The genie and then Joker Mark Hamill. Can you argue against that?
Well,
I mean, I would love to hear an argument. My hipster would be like crying out for a counter to this.
I don't think there's really. I would love to, honestly, just because. I mean, there's some stiff fucking competition on this list, but I do think that Robin Williams as the genie is the obvious choice for a reason. I mean, after we did the last podcast, I went back through and watched most of Aladdin again, OG Aladdin. I skipped, and it's funny because I watched a bunch of clips and then I also watched the whole movie again. I skipped the "I can show you the world" scene,
Yeah.
but
Understandable.
yeah,
It's
I
a
think
nice
that's
spot.
yeah. And I just watched it like 2 months ago, so yeah, I don't think there's much room to argue in reality against those two being the top two. Mark Hamill, the Joker, number two. Robin Williams is the genie, number one. And honestly, looking at the list, and again, this is really tough, but I kind of want to slot in the next two. I feel like Optimus Prime and Steve Bloom for, Peter Cullen and Steve Bloom should be the next top two.
I was gonna say Optimus Prime, but I think Mel Blanc or Blank. Those have to come next, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think Bugs is an easy number three.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking he would
Plus-
be up there.
I mean,
Yeah, his whole you could throw every fucking Looney Tunes character in with Mel Blanc if we start doing combo stuff.
yeah.
Okay. And how about
That's really
Spike
the only-
as 5? What about Spike as 5?
I totally agree with that.
Bugs as 3, Optimus Prime as 4, Spike as 5.
Okay.
Bill wanted Ellen, I think, as number 5. If I'm
Oh,
reading
no, I
your
don't
face
care.
right.
No,
Yeah.
it's just
That's
on the
cool.
list. Yeah.
Let's put Ellen at 6, because even though I'm not...
Great role.
No, I was just saying that she was actually on my list as, the one I originally wrote up as a top 10.
So let's
gotcha.
put, for the 7th spot, let's put the combo people head to head. Because we haven't even considered them for the top spots. So Joe DiMaggio or H. John Benjamin. You know I'll go with Bender every time over more.
Honestly, I'd have to agree in this particular case.
Yeah, I think once you get down to the iconography, between Marcus Phoenix and Bender, you cover a lot of ground there,
Yep.
Yeah.
and I feel like it covers more than H. John Benjamin would. So that's a good example of equal footing in terms of quality of role, but who's more iconic? It's got to be John DiMaggio, and he was a Joker too in Under the Red Hood.
Yeah.
Since we're comboing stuff.
Well, we're just gonna put Bender and Marcus Phoenix.
That's fine. And then
I don't even think H. John Benjamin should be next. Just looking at this list.
no, probably Seth MacFarlane.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Either Homer or Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, I think Stewie. It doesn't.
Okay.
It's he's probably one of the most well-known animated characters in the last 2 decades.
And the only other thing, well, there's plenty of things to compete, but I think we have to consider Tom Hanks on the list.
So what are we at now? What do we have? 9 and 10 left.
Yep.
I'm
How
thinking
many spots from the shortened list do we have left? Or who's left on the shortened list?
we still got Keith David for Goliath. We still got James Avery for Shredder. We still got Kevin Conroy for Batman, which I think should be an early number 10.
Yeah.
We still got Billy West for Fry. We got Dan Castellaneta for Homer. We got Tom Hanks as Woody.
That's rough.
It is rough, man. I almost want to
think
put
it should be Tom Hanks. If we
Tom
only
Hanks at
have
10.
No, if we have Kevin Conroy as Batman, Tom Hanks as Woody, number 9, and that fills the top 10.
Or do you go Homer as number 10?
Instead of Kevin?
Yeah,
I'd say
that's
Homer is a better pick. Kevin Conroy's definitely
rough to
worth
say,
a
but
honorable
yeah.
mention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be the first honorable mention, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. I agree. So Dan Castellaneta is number 10 for Homer Simpson. And Tom Hanks is number 9 for Woody. I could get behind that, honestly. Begrudgingly, because
Look at
it's,
me.
again, really
I'm
tough.
making the list. No.
I think we should drop James Avery and Keith David and keep
Yeah.
Kevin Conroy as an honorable mention, Billy West as an
Yes.
honorable mention, and Ellen DeGeneres as an honorable mention, personally.
Yeah. I mean, we've done up to 5 before, so if you want to have 5 honorable mentions, it's in a case like this where we have a massive list. I think it's okay to do up to
Yeah.
5.
We
Yeah.
have to do Tom Hanks as Woody as an honorable mention.
No, Tom Hanks is Woody's number 9, I thought.
Number 9, right?
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I did not put it as 9.
It's fine.
Mm,
And Dan Castellaneta as Homer at number 10.
fair enough. So, I only have one honorable mention. Sorry, Jenna was speaking to me real quick and I missed some stuff.
How dare you have a family?
Yeah. Blame my penis. Bingo Jones as Mufasa. Bingo Jones as Mufasa is definitely an honorable mention.
Brian, that was one of the funniest things you've said on this podcast, I think.
100%.
That was fantastic. I am shocked. Honestly, going into this, I was expecting Brian at least one Japanese voice actor.
I think you mentioned one.
You mentioned one, but kind of
I
in
mentioned
passing.
one, yes. Sorry, I didn't try to overwhelm you guys.
And so, the BBM Productions all-time definitive top 10 list of voice actor roles is number 10, Dan Castellaneta as Homer Simpson. Dope! Number 9, Tom Hanks as Woody. This is a perfect time to panic! Number 8, Seth MacFarlane, Stewie. Excellent. Number 7, John DiMaggio as Bender / Marcus Phoenix. Yeah, baby, I know it. / kill these guys, Coltrane. We gotta get back to the thing. I got a chainsaw in my gun.
Yeah,
I think that's an exact quote, actually, from Marcus Phoenix.
I think so.
Ellen DeGeneres as Dory. Just keep swimming. Steve Bloom as Spike Spiegel. See you, Space Cowboy. Number 4, Peter Cullen for Optimus Prime. Shia LaBeouf, you're. We gotta get the Allspark, Shia.
Not Autobots roll out. No.
Oh right, that's
Shia LaBeouf.
definitely that's. Autobots roll. Autobots, the Autobot. Shia LaBeouf, the Autobots gotta.
Stop
roll
touching that girl with syphilis. We need to get to Allspark.
Girl with syphilis? He had syphilis? Anyway. Where are we? Number 3, Mel Blanc for Bugs Bunny. Yeah, what's up, Doc? Number 2, Mark Hamill for the Joker. Hey, Bets! I feel like that was mostly in my face, but... much like semen. I'm not gay. We got a few honorable mentions here. We got Billy West for Fry. My brother Yancey stole my 4-leaf clover.
7-leaf clover.
7-leaf clover. Yancey. James Earl Jones for Mufasa. You'll rule all the light touches, Simba. Except for PG County.
Don't be a pussy and go home, Simba.
Don't be a pussy, Simba. Go fucking destroy your uncle, that bastard. A couple more honorable mentions. H. John Benjamin for Archer / Bob Belcher / Coach McGurk. Lana! My new burger is called Don't Be So Sprouty. It has alfalfa sprouts. I'm trying to think of a good Coach McGurk line. Brendan, this is a sure thing. James Avery for Shredder. Turtles! I don't actually remember anything specific that Shredder said, to be honest. Technodrome! And the greatest voice acting role of all time is Robin Williams for the Genie. Al, listen, I can't kill anyone or make anyone fall in love with you. Give me my freedom. Itty bitty living space.
Unlimited comic power?
Unlimited comic power!
Comic, it's cosmic, guys.
I know.
Yes.
Way to ruin it, Brian.
Well, I'm going to ruin this podcast. Thank you for joining in this on this BBM product. Please free to dislike. I know Bill will, thanks to my stubbornness.
Oh, I'll be the first.
Leave your nasty comments and maybe even positive ones in case you're feeling nice on that day. Until next time, take care.